Hey there, it is December 17th, and it is 2 days before my son's birthday, Nikai, who is going to be 11 this year. It's a little scary, 11. Just a couple years from being a teenager, from adolescence. That's scary. My little boy. So innocent. So pure of heart. Very scary. I get very scared for him growing up in this world. I'm very scared about the prospect of him having to deal with this merciless world. So I've been thinking a lot about his birthday for a couple months now, and how we could make this birthday special. Now, we decided not to have a party because we'd just be inviting over a bunch of people who he might not really be friends with, and it would be very superficial. Maybe he'd enjoy it a little bit, but it's out. We decided not to do this. So I was thinking about other alternatives for his birthday this year, including taking a trip to Costa Rica or something, going to an Airbnb, something like that. I was thinking about gifts, but he's pretty much got all his material things that he needs, for certain. But in the last few days, it occurred to me, well, why not make this birthday be the best birthday gift you could possibly give him? And officially come forward and go through a type of coronation process, making you the king, myself the king, such that he would become the prince. I liked that idea, and so I'm going with it. This is the year, at 11 years old, my son will be a prince. But obviously that means I have to step forward and do the unthinkable, which is to take my journey public in a major way, in a way that's irreversible and quite terrifying. Now, however confident I might seem to be in this moment, trust me, I've shed a lot of tears about this. But I don't want to make a weepy-eyed video. I'm really averse to that idea, but my eyes are constantly watering now. And I'm terrified about my decision to come forward for my son. So far, I've been ignored by the world, but being ignored is not nearly as bad as being attacked and ridiculed. So I am extremely concerned about that. Yet, this world just gets smaller and smaller and smaller, and the pressure gets greater and greater and greater. It becomes so intolerable to exist here. And this shitball. And a lot of forces have been converging, which make me know that this is the time to do this. But more than anything, I want to give my son a great birthday present this year. Because all gifts to him would be meaningless were I not to be able to secure his future. So I have to take this risk. This is the time to do it. It just simply cannot wait any longer. Did you know that we're over 2,000 days past 12/21/12. These last 6 years have been merciless. Now, what I learned up until then, in many ways paled in comparison to what I learned after that period of time. Because in a sense, what I learned up until then you could roughly say it would be the addition of knowledge And in the last 6 years, everything's been stripped away. Now that's very rough, very crude, but sort of on target. But all of my falsity has been stripped away, leaving me with nothing but me, a pure child of God, as my son is as well. And it's very scary to think about adolescence and what that does to kids, especially boys. Transitioning from a boy to a man. A man? What the hell is a man? We're all kids. We're all children. We're all children of God here. The idea of grow up and be a man, that's so stupid. So indescribably stupid. To not identify as a child of God first. Yeah, you might be sort of a man in this world, but you're a child of God. And as a child of God, you never stop playing. And that's what I'm encouraging you to do, to play more. So I have a games section on my website. That's why I encourage you to play when you get together in groups. Now my son is a member of the Poofadillo tribe. I'm sharing this for the first time on video. The Poofadillo tribe far supersedes, is that the right word? Surpasses the role of the Pleiadians or any silly civilization like that. The Poofadillo are the most important race of star beings, if you want to call them that, because the Poofadillo are who? What? They're the ones who are going to teach us to play. That's the nature of a Poofadillo, to always be playing, to never stop playing. And thus, the Poofadillo are the most important tribe of all. Now, to get a Poofadillo to work is very contrary to their nature, unless that work is done playfully. Then it's not a problem. But this is what we have to do, is basically we have to play the real world, the liberated world, into existence. That's what we got to do. That's the missing element. Lightness, joy, and everything. But we're in a very, very dark place here. And we've been deluded into thinking from all these spiritual masters that this is a very serious endeavor. And I assure you, it is a very serious situation we're in. Of course it is. It's serious to remain here. But getting out of this has to be in the way of the place we're going to. In other words, if we play all the time in heaven, we have to play our way back to heaven. And that's the role, the primary role of the Poofadillo, is to get you to play. So why not? Why not play a little bit right now? And go ahead and say, I am a member of the Poofadillo tribe. Go ahead and say it. I am a member of the Poofadillo tribe. There you go. And mean it. And think about how you're going to play. Oop, don't hit the camera. But make sure you play every single day. I don't even remember what I've said so far, and I'm afraid that I'm going to repeat myself, but I want this to be a very special birthday for my son. And that means coming forward and officially coronating myself, because nobody else is going to do it, make myself the king, and fucking own it. Mean it. Knowing, owning, they can mean the same thing, but I mean here that owning is saying I fucking know it. Cursing has a role here and there for emphasis. I don't want to go into cursing too much right now, but let's just acknowledge that the words shit and fuck explain a lot about the human condition, such that we could almost call this planet Planet shitfuck. I know it's terrible, we shouldn't say that, but that's the truth. Planet shitfuck. But if we don't want it to be planet shitfuck, we have to allow the Poofadillo to teach us, to play, to get out of this mess. I've got so much electricity going through my body right now. It's crazy. It's crazy how I can live with this much electricity going through my body. I don't know how I do it. But it brings me to tears just about every single day. The pressure on my body, the anxiety that I feel, is indescribable. Indescribably awful. It makes me feel completely hopeless sometimes. The thought of me not being able to provide a secure future for my son is the most terrifying thing imaginable. I was bawling my eyes out just about an hour ago about this. Because it would seem to be that the best way to secure a future for your child in this world is to make as much money as possible. That way you can buy them all the toys, the vacations, you can buy them a college fund. All the things that they supposedly need. But often in our efforts to attain these things for our children, we support an insane system. We have to sacrifice ourselves by contributing to the system with our hard work and energy and actually strengthen the bars of the prison for everyone else. And that's what it means to sell your soul. It means to accept things in the world while going against what's best for everybody. So everyone needs to think about that. Everyone needs to think about how you're contributing to the madness. In some cases, money is so untraceable in terms of your job, your occupation. And most people don't understand how the money gets to them. They don't even think about it. But generally speaking, the more complicated the trail of money is, the dirtier that money happens to be. So you really got to start thinking about that. We all got to ask how we are contributing to the madness here. Because I assure you, you are, to a certain degree, unless you're fully awake, if such a thing even exists. But we all contribute to the madness here. Here's how I like to think of it. This is you. And this is your star in heaven, right here. Let's say this is 90% of your energy right here, right? This is your 9%, which has gone into what I call the dark mind matrix, which is the intelligence which surrounds this planet. If you could call it intelligence, it is intelligence. It's sick, but it is intelligence of a certain sort. Now, it's the same kind of intelligence that governs an ant colony, or a termite colony, or a bee colony, which allows it, like a termite colony, for example, to build a mound, a big mound. How in the hell did they do it? Well, obviously, they're not like individuals with little thoughts and thinking, okay, I'm going to go get this piece of rubble and run it back to the mound to make it bigger. Or I'm not going to dig this tunnel or do whatever the hell termites do. They don't have that. Now, if you think they do, great, go make a cartoon about termites. But they don't. But it's the same type of intelligence that rules over this world is what rules over the termite colony. So we're not lacking in terms of examples in nature to see how this dark mind intelligence works. But you've got to withdraw your 9% from the dark mind matrix. Now, if you think about everybody's got their 9% in here, and I'm just throwing out numbers just to exemplify. You got to take your energy out of this dark mind matrix, which is roughly means to just become more conscious, real, authentic, alive, a real person. That's all it means. Very simple. To become bullshit free. No more delusions. You got to take your energy out of the dark mind matrix. And basically what we as a world have to do is we have to make this collapse, this dark mind matrix. Now, in my reality, this is just a damn dog toy that I like to toss around. So I'm not going to toss this away from myself right now or burn it in the fire or anything, but for sake of example, this is the dark mind matrix, and that's what we have to do. We have to obliterate this. We have to rob it of energy, is basically what we have to do. Now, I don't see another way, another model of reality, which actually works to explain what this darkness is, than to say it's our own souls that are split into three. Here you are. Here's your star in heaven, shining brightly, never stopped. 90% right here, 1% here, 9% here. And this results from you collectively contributing to this dark mind matrix. It results in an infinite black sky that we see at night. And the idea, the model of reality in which you have a little world floating around in an infinite black sky with a few specks of light here and there. That's crazy. Crazier than hell. Too stupid to believe, yet here we are in such a model of reality. So that's what your role is to do, is to take this energy back. But the problem is, what? Is that the dark mind intelligence knows when you're taking your energy back. And it says, and the sky falls down, so to speak. Things start to unravel. People that you knew start to hate you. They distance themselves from you. All that kind of shit. Just the way ants know how to attack other ants from another ant colony tribe. How do they know how to do that? Because of this dark mind intelligence, or whatever you want to call it, governing them. Same kind of deal. So in essence, in order for us not to experience too much hell as we're going through this massive transformation, what we all have to do is we have to agree that we're going to be conscious and act pretty much at the same time and steal our energy back from this dark mind matrix. Disempower it, make it collapse of its own accord. Let me make it very clear that you are responsible for your actions. Just as if you were to drink a half a case of beer and go out on the road in your oversized Subaru and get into head-on collision with a Mini or something and kill everyone in that other car and say, well, I was drunk, I couldn't help it. You are responsible for every little thing you do in this world. Every little thing without exception. You don't understand the consequences of little things, because the model of reality that we have is sort of like the universe is a big black dumpster, a cosmic black hole in which all of our actions just appear or disappear into oblivion in this cosmic dumpster. And it's the same mentality that causes people to throw bottles of piss and cigarette butts out their window. And everyone does it. Everyone does it. And soon enough, you have thousands of bottles over hillsides. Trust me, I've cleaned some of these up. It's the same stupid mentality that the world is a dump. And you just throw your shit out and nobody's ever going to have to deal with it. Wrong. It always will have to be dealt with. There is no cosmic black hole in which your actions go and are recycled and turned into nothing. Every single action is waiting for you. Every single little thing, so-called little thing, is waiting for you. If you're a prick on the road, all those little things you did to people are waiting for you. If you cut off someone and they had to stomp on the brakes, and that caused a chain reaction backwards, you're responsible for that whole chain reaction going backwards. You got to be conscious. You got to wake the hell up. Take responsibility for your actions. Understand that nothing you do goes into the cosmic dumpster because it doesn't exist. They're all waiting for you. Your soul has perfect memory of everything, and your soul cannot tolerate you wronging other people in any possible way, no matter how slight it is. Trust me. I know damn well that that is so. The more conscious you become, the less you can stand disappointing others, upsetting others. That's for very good reason. Because you know, as you get closer to liberation, that these little things can hold you back. And when you desire it more than ever, these little things that hold you back are going to become more and more and more painful. But we've got to understand that we're in a collective situation where it's our collective decision that matters right now. And basically, you have to take on the responsibility for others, just as I'm taking on responsibility for my son, who is diagnosed with PDD, which is on the autism spectrum, 8 years ago. He's doing fantastic, however. Beautiful, beautiful child. And I never, ever think of him in terms of his disability. Nor should you. Remember, autism is the exact analogy to God being out of communication with us. It's a stark example of the pain that God feels from not being able to communicate with you. Just as a parent of a child of autism suffers more from their break in communication with God, God actually suffers more than you from being out of communication with you. And I know that. I know that 100%. For every tear that you cry because you're missing God, God cries at least 100 or 1,000. And it breaks his heart to be out of communication with you. But in order to... See, I didn't even know why I put these objects on the table. I guess it was all for a good reason. I just wanted something to fidget with. Because I kind of need it. I'm sort of like a baby going in the opposite direction. I'm going backwards through life to the great spiritual rebirth, which is really what it is. Can't get into that right now. But the whole thing is to get rid of this thing. Get rid of the darkness by taking your energy back into yourself. And you can only do this when you collaborate with other people. Like-minded people that recognize the nature of the situation. I'll make another one of these soon.